Today is April 6th, 10:07 in the morning, and I'd like to convene the City of Castle Hills Parks and Projects Commission meeting. Welcome, and we want to see if there's a quorum. We do have a quorum, so we'll move on and approval of the minutes from February 24th, 2024 meeting. So if you can look over those minutes that Ryan gave us. Just-
Move that we accept the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Now we're gonna move on to item 3, discussion and possible action on identified projects in the commons. Shade structures, stage, and other amenities, including phase 2 of the commons project.
Yes, so in front of you, you have the stage. There's 2 renderings. I think we've got it down to how the stage would be set up. Concrete stage, ramp, everything. I know that Councilman Joyce and Councilwoman Daines, who's here, have both been heavily involved in this with our engineers and meetings. And up until about 2 weeks ago, we were still trying to figure out the stage. So I didn't feel good about not to say how it was going, but leading up to Fiesta. So essentially we were put it on hold for building this until basically the Monday after or the week after Fiesta. So you have 2 renderings there. I think the identified one is to have, I think the ramp in the back for the stage. I think so, Councilman Joyce, right? Is that?
Yes, that was the preferred one, but certainly we would appreciate the opinions of this group. Also might give credit to Mr. Harada, who really made what I consider a significant change to the design. If you all remember, the sidewalks used to come up to that 2 feet, but he thought it'd be a better idea just to leave the sidewalk as it is for cost reasons.
Right.
He's exactly right. And that led to the need for the ramp. And it just seems neater and cleaner to have the ramp at the back. But y'all, I mean, whatever y'all
Yeah.
think. So that seems to be the preferred design at this point. So I guess we're moving ahead, Ryan, with estimates and so forth.
Yeah, I think we're moving forward. If you're good with it and Councilwoman Daines and this group, we'll move forward with that rendering. And they'll start to work after Fiesta. So I had some I just didn't want it to be finishing or wrapping up even close to the date
Right.
of. So I didn't want to make Judy or Norma mad. And it just felt like, you know, to be clean just to do it afterwards.
Right.
And so regardless of that fact, it started after Fiesta Castle Hills, and then it'll be ready obviously by the first concert in the Commons in May. So,
Nice.
and then, you know, I've talked to our engineers who are doing the pavilions and everything. So I've given them all the specifics of the roof, and we're going to keep the brick columns, all that. So what they're going to do is put a price to both of those, and then what the covering will look for the stage as well. And so my goal is to have all 3 of those costs identified, because the idea is that they would all look the same, those pavilions. They would just be different in sizes, of course, with
Right.
the stage. To have all 3 of those with a price tag for y'all at the next meeting. And if all goes well, we have all that. Y'all can make a decision at the next meeting, and then we have it on the May council agenda. And so we get started on those.
Nice. And can we vote on the where you want the ramp in the front or the side?
That's solely up to y'all. I mean,
Yeah. Or do y'all, does anybody
Probably a
have-
good idea
Yeah.
to have a record of it. Yeah.
Right.
and mind you, this probably won't, I mean, we'll probably absorb the cost within budget based on the cost of this, so we probably won't be going to council per se.
Mhm.
Unlike the pavilions, because we're probably talking over 50,000
Right,
there,
right.
from that standpoint.
Okay. Well, let's do that. Let's, you have two renderings here, one with a ramp on the back of the stage by the sidewalk. Another one on the side, it looks like. Is that right? What do y'all think?
I know the minute I looked at it, I thought, this one doesn't look right, this one looks better. And just from looking and not even knowing
Yeah.
what it was, but that's me.
So you like the in the back? Me too.
Well, go ahead. I have a question about that. Is the ramp on the path itself? I mean, does it,
I don't think so. I think
it's hard to tell on this diagram.
right. I think it goes right to the edge of it.
No, it comes up to the edge of the ramp, Vic. It's not on the ramp. It comes up to the edge of the
See, like,
sidewalk.
right here,
Oh,
and then
okay.
it goes.
All right, because that looks like a triangle.
Right, right. I guess that's where they just have the
Okay.
the.
Yeah, because my concern was if the ramp itself was actually on the path, then people walking or people on bikes, as they come around there, they would be
Jump it.
going up on the ramp.
Shoot up there.
Or, we'd be having skateboarders or bike cyclists using that ramp to go up onto the stage as they go around the path. But so it's,
So yeah, this way it's not.
I just want to make sure that the path remains unblocked by the,
Right, so I don't think they're taking out any of the sidewalk, so everything stays the same
okay.
as it is now.
Yeah, like Councilman Joy said, I mean, looking at it again, what Mr. Harada and that it was probably too much demo work. And it really wasn't necessary at that point,
Right, right.
So, but I still didn't feel comfortable. Like this was like March 20th. I think we had this meeting, March 21st. I still didn't feel good 30 days out.
Right, right.
From that
Yeah.
standpoint.
So to clarify this diagram for me, you would enter the ramp there at the top, and basically the ramp stage. And over here down at the bottom is where you take it, or like a wheelchair, how you get on the stage. Right, okay.
And there's a platform at the bottom, at the top, where it levels off. I think it's 5 foot
Mhm.
square. And that way the wheelchair can turn around and make the 90 degrees to get on the stage.
Nice.
I'm sure this is kind of great. Cars, yeah, I just wanted to make sure the sidewalk was going to stay the same.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think, Jack, didn't we decide that that the height of the stage is now only 18 inches instead of 24? I can't read the map. The drawing, it's so teeny tiny.
yeah.
But I
Yes,
think that was the discussion we had.
It was a discussion, you're right, Beth, and I agree with you. A foot and a half is, I think more than enough. I'm not sure that that's the way this drawing reflects, though. Like you, I can't read at this scale. It's just.
Yeah.
But I printed it larger, and I want to
Yeah.
say it was showing 24
It
inches.
is, okay, well, I know, like there was mentioned, the ADA has to be maintained, the
Mhm.
slope of the ramp.
Right.
And we did specifically start the ramp closer to the parking lot side, for reasons of like when the bands come and they have equipment and they want to roll it off. We were trying to make that path shorter and easier, from an equipment standpoint. If somebody was just coming from the audience to get on the stage, it might not be as convenient, but
Mhm. Mhm. And there is power in place already. We didn't have to do anything with power, although we might put a couple of conduits in just for safekeeping, but there's power behind the sidewalk. I'm not exactly sure where, but I think the community organization folks know where that is and are comfortable with it,
Mhm.
because it was just redone a year or two ago.
So I'll go back and see and make sure that it's the 18 inches.
Perfect. So 18 inches and the ramp in the back. All in favor? Oh, wait, no, I think we need a Yeah, motion. Second? All in favor?
So I'm pretty sure I'll have all the prices and everything for y'all to make a decision on the pavilions. And then related to the stage, I don't know if Councilman Joyce wanted to or Councilwoman Daines, but I don't think we talked about it last meeting, was the grant application that council ratified in March for potentially dollars for the stage and the art sculptures. And I don't know, go ahead, sir. Okay.
Thanks, Ryan. Yes, we did put together, Beth and I, this proposal by the ARP. And, you know, just sort of came out of nowhere from a gentleman by the name of Bill Fitzgibbons, who was kind of our public artist and tuned into those things. And so it seemed like a pretty good match, I thought. Beth, you know, they gave to municipalities. The average donation was, I think, $11,000, although they have asked for up to 50. So if memory serves, I think we showed our cost to be what we knew at the time for the stage. 70,000 plus a few dollars for the artists traveling to town and all the business surrounding them and having a curator for their stuff to get going. But in any event, I think we asked for 30 or 40,000.
We asked for 40 and said we would chip in 30, because I wanted it to seem sort of equitable.
Yeah, yeah,
Give us a better shot.
right.
But mind you, the cost for the stage is based on the engineering and, you know,
Yeah.
contractors probably thinking we could do it for a lot less.
Well, and we
So-
can include the pedestal, the art pedestal.
Art
in that
pedestals.
price too.
That's true. Thank you for reminding
That's
me.
plenty.
Right, right. But anyway, I think we're gonna hopefully hear something in the next month or so. That was at the end of March, I guess. Well, no, it was early March.
It
the
was the-
6th.
Sure, it's like the
March
6th,
6th.
5th or 6th,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And council had to ratify it just in case there's any dollars associated with it in the future.
So maybe by the time we next meet, we might hear something from those folks and you know, hopefully get a little something, but we'll see.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I take the average 11,000.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that would cover us for the stage just in general, for the concrete work.
The only other thing I wanted to mention on the topic that Ryan has described it with reference to the shade structures is when we talked about that with council last time, there seemed to be some interest in solar panels. Which, you know, we've talked about that here in this group. And the mayor just has it in his mind that we need to have solar panels out there. I mean, I don't know. You guys know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
But what I've done is ask Ryan to look at the final piece of solar panel possibility, and that is the firehouse.
Mhm.
So he's got the guys working on that. So hopefully very soon we'll have the whole gamut of solar possibility with here in the commons on this building, which is really not a possibility, but out back there is, and then the firehouse.
If you recall the renderings that I showed from the engineers last time, there was solar panels on a pavilion in New Braunfels.
Mhm.
But they said that was sort of the park was done, the pavilions were done, and then they worked with another company just to add those on to those particular pavilions. So it was sort of separate post project. So it just shows that it's possible to put solar panels on those particular pavilions, but
As an
Um,
add-on later.
yeah, I'm hoping Tuesday night at council, we have our engineers coming in to update the architectural study of this building to tell us, you know, a little bit more of what we can and can't do. I'm hoping by then that they've kind of already have looked comprehensively at the fire station for solar panels as well.
So I reckon at some point, we're going to have to make a recommendation to council with respect to what to do with solar panels.
Mhm. Anybody have any comments about solar panels or anything else in the commons around the area?
One thing it was suggested and I'll take it from an approach of if right now, the only thing that Rick and his guys are doing is replacing those old wooden benches out there. So we've ordered the same green benches to replace all the wooden ones. So those will all be done by Fiesta. A resident actually this past 2 weeks purchased 2 benches to put out there in addition to those and put a little plaque for their family. So they directly purchased those 2 benches and those will be out there as well from that standpoint. With that, I know there's the design how the concrete pad would match the pavilions, you know, kind of towards the middle and all that.
Mhm.
But it was suggested by one of our staff members here. I wasn't even thinking about it, that if we wanted to do sort of those nice brick pavers where people could put their names on it and all that, as far as dollars associated with improving the commons. When I was in Brenham, they had this little downtown walk, and it wasn't just the red bricks. It was these solid gray bricks you could put in. You can either put a plaque or a name,
Mhm.
but it might be something where we want to do where the concrete meets the pavilions, and as we're approaching the pavilions, those could be the brick pavers or some type of concrete stamps with people who've donated their names and all that kind of stuff. And that would help us raise money for like phase 2.
Right, right. Like the Museum has it too as you walk in.
Yeah.
That's
So-
always a good in memoriam kind
Yep.
of thing.
Mhm.
So we are kind of discussing this, and you know, I can't take the credit. It was a particular staff member here who says, why don't you just get brick pavers and raise money? Made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And so maybe that's something that conceptually we could start looking at, to where you can do a certain distance of those brick pavers that people can purchase, and that would raise money for additional amenities in the commons or for phase 2.
Hey, Ryan, real quick again on just the process for the stage. Does this go to council next week and then, or we're already good?
We're already good.
Okay, so we just have to wait till after Fiesta, then we
Yeah.
start building. Gotcha.
Perfect.
So if that's something in the future, that the future agenda item
Mhm.
to start discussing about that process, and if that's something we want to implement, of course, that would probably be more a policy that would go in front of council. But just to figure out how a brick or some type of, and I'll show renderings of what it looks like in Brenham. It's really nice on this walkway downtown. It could be done the same way where people donated considerable amount of money to put those there for their family
Right.
and or business.
Mm-hmm. Perfect idea, especially just for the, a walkway leading up to the pavilions.
But I can't take credit for it. Priscilla and our permit clerk did it. So
Nice.
give credit where credit's due.
Yes. All right, any more discussion about the amenities in the commons? Okay, we'll move on. Discussion of possible action on priorities task related to the city's comprehensive plan. Mr. Joyce.
Thank you, Bernard. Yes, we've been making progress. I can comment on the top 3 priorities and another one, and maybe Ryan can fill in on some of the more detailed ones. But in any event, the top priority, as you guys may recall, is economic development. And that group, as you know, is making progress. We just had the town halls there back in March, gathered a lot of good information. The whole council came for one meeting, which was very encouraging. We're in a terrific place right now in this little city. But in any event, we're making progress with that one. In terms of branding, Ryan has solicited a proposal from a group called Creative Civilizations, and we have that proposal now, and that will go in front of council on Tuesday night. So hopefully we will have a branding group hired and ready to go next week. So that's certainly very good news, I think. And kudos to Ryan for taking the original proposal and getting the cost down by at least a third, maybe half, almost. So anyway, that's the second priority. And then the third priority was the green space, the drainage channel from, I guess it's Cremeria, that area, all the way down to West Ave, crossing all of those little streets in your neighborhood, Bernard, which is awful right now. Ryan has an updated proposal to complete that design and to get it done, but also to incorporate a pathway. So, you know, it's such a beautiful shaded area in there. It'd be nice to have some, we can't do a linear park like we had in mind because the hydraulics just won't allow it. It's just too deep and the water's going to be going too fast. But the engineers believe there is a way that they can incorporate a pathway through there, sort of meandering through. And so that hopefully council will see the wisdom of that and approve that Tuesday night. So anyway, those are the ones that I'm familiar with. Ryan, there's a million others. Is there anything significant taking place with some of those others?
No, those were the main ones.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you touched on them all. There's a couple things I'll bring as an update here and there with this, and you know, this is a standing agenda, so I try to update council on some of those things, and I'll probably get with Councilman Joyce because I might need whether this is getting staff or a particular councilman involved, or maybe the parks board here to start helping sort of carry out some of these priorities in more detail from that standpoint. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about doing as well. So
Jack, you said the branding and the green space proposal will both go before the council next week?
Yes,
Yes.
that's right, Matt.
yeah, and so as Jack mentioned, the Mimosa Cremeria, that's been an identified project in our watershed for, you know, the study that was done in 15-16, and then we had one particular set of engineers start the design process. They got to just about 60%. And then the project was idle because we didn't have any dollars associated with it. And then after dollars were associated, we changed engineers. So I've been working with the engineers to, you know, come up with an idea of how they can finish this thing. And I was able to get them down significantly on the price too, because we had already paid for a certain amount of work for this project. But we didn't have the funding until the COs were issued the 23 series after the election. So that kind of put this project a little bit on hold as well. So
Ryan, could I ask you please to comment on the right-of-way situation? That was sort of news to me, how difficult that is in some ways.
yeah, so there's SAWS has the sewer lines that run down there from basically Mimosa all the way down to West Avenue, and you know we have property owners there, and so it's working with the property owners and trying to adjust the sewer lines within that easement. So that's another piece we have to work with SAWS and the property owners to adjust where those sewer lines will be relocated within this project, because the ultimate goal is to widen and deepen this channel for flooding purposes. So the sewer lines have to be adjusted as well. And the sewer lines are SAWS, so they are paying for what would be they're designed to relocate and any costs related to relocate those lines to us. It's just like I said, this has just been on hold for,
Right.
almost a couple years.
Yeah, because I mean, you can see them every now and again,
Yeah.
the sewer lines when
Yeah.
a good rain comes.
And the main focus is Mimosa. I mean, you know, when that was done in 16 or something, that the road was, well, the culverts were undersized and the road is too low. And so that has caused those property owners on this side of the road to be flooded in a good sizable rain. And so that's what we need to cure first, is trying to adjust the channels there and the road, and then work on the building out of the channels for the hydrology and flow of the water.
Right, and wasn't there was some discussion of an access easement. It sounds like the pathway may impact the width of the whole easement, and you need to get the property owner's permission to have access to
Yeah.
the property via this easement. I think that's a separate piece from the.
That would be a
piece.
separate piece,
Yeah.
just in general, for putting some kind of path through there with along the easement. Then would probably be the property owners as well to sign off on that.
Yeah, so it's, you know, it's a tricky
Right.
process.
dealing with a lot of people too, so it's.
Yeah. Like get a lot of folks on the same page.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, and essentially, I mean, that design probably, if of all intents and purposes, if I'm going back to, I'm trying to remember when we issued, so we had the election in November of 22, probably late 21. They probably could have wrapped up, but we still didn't have the funding, and then it got pushed to an election, and then, after the fact, last year, changing engineers. So it's just been a project that's been on hold, and now we just need to finish it.
Right. Nice.
And if we can incorporate a trail system, that's a great thing, and it follows the priority of the comp plan.
Right.
That's all I got on that one.
Nice. Perfect. Well, I think we're come to the end of our meeting. Discussion and possible action. No, discuss and announce the date and time of our next meeting. And we're just gonna make the meeting and then we're gonna do it a month later.
Well,
Sorry that
I will say, if you want,
rescheduled, yeah.
the council meeting's on the 14th. So if we have everything for y'all to approve and everything, it would have to be either May 4th or even May 11th, It could be on the agenda May 11th. And I mean, it could be on the agenda for Tuesday night, May 14th, and y'all take the matter up and give a go or no go on it kind of thing before it gets to council. May 4th is elections. I was informed it's Mother's Day weekend. I already knew that. May 4th, I think we're having the citywide garage sale day and all that too. So
That's perfect.
Which date is Mother's Day? The 11th?
Yeah, it's the 12th.
Okay.
So the 11th would be the weekend. But not the day, so you're still safe. Flowers.
Okay,
May 4th is
Fourth?
good. It's Margaret's birthday.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. May 4th.
She'll be sleeping late
Yeah.
anyway.
Does that work for everybody? May 4th? Right. 4th at 10 o'clock. May 4th. Our next meeting will be May 4th, 2024 at 10 a.m. here in the chambers. Nice. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Great, we are adjourned. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you for your input. Yes.